if you guys remember the Ohio State-Michigan football game recently, there was an issue in the middle of the field at the end of the game where Michigan players came out. This was at Ohio Stadium here in Columbus, Ohio. And if you guys aren't aware, if you guys maybe in Europe, college football is a very big deal. The Ohio State University, that's literally what they call themselves, has a very important, very prestigious football program. The University of Michigan has one as well. And Ohio State and Michigan have had a rivalry basically forever. There's various reasons why, the personalities involved. There was also a time where the state of Ohio and Michigan as a federal territory had a minor border skirmish over a strip of land. So anyway, it's had a long-standing rivalry, and it's an intense one. It's very intense on the Ohio side of things. So this is after the game. Michigan wins, and I was going to say I'm very surprised Michigan won. They come in and win, and they are out in the middle of the 50-yard line, the center of the football field, and they're hooting and hollering. And then they do something which we'll cover here. Now they planted, that counts as planting the flag. And it's basically a big fuck you to the other side. Like, this is our house now. We won, we took over. And as you can see, there are a bunch of guys in red. Well, the guys in red are from Ohio State. And as they show up here, they come over to these gentlemen in white and say, we disagree with this. So as you can see from there, it starts basically a big fight in the middle of the field. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as more and more people get involved. And it ended up with the police having to pepper spray guys from the University of Michigan, which I think is funny because it's Ohio State campus security and highway patrol members that were on the football field, and they were macing the Michigan guys only. Nobody from Ohio State got maced, and nobody was arrested. But this kept on going. And they broke it up, and everybody kind of went their way. So what happened with that? Well, I think this is just absolutely nonsense. Anyway, this guy, he's a representative out of Ohio. He's a state rep. So this isn't federal. This isn't a congressman. This is a state representative, and he's a state representative up in Toledo. So on the other side of the state from me. He's introducing the Ohio Sportsmanship Act to make planting a flag at midfield a felony in the state of Ohio. He says behavior that incites violent brawls or puts law enforcement officers in danger has no place on the football field. Now, I think that's interesting in one, like, a pretty big aspect here. If Michigan won like 99-0, I'm pretty sure that would piss off a lot of people. We've seen that throughout, history. Getting your ass kicked can incite the other side to be mean and do dangerous stuff. It can cause violence, can cause fights. Watch baseball games. Somebody gets hit by a pitch, and then the other side throws at a batter, and then you have big brawls. I mean, it's not uncommon. You have hockey. Fighting is part of the business. It's this idea of you're instigating the other team. Well, this massive rivalry, and if you guys understand, in Ohio State, it's such a big deal to them that the week of the Michigan game, Ohio State fans make it a thing where, like, they cross out the letter M wherever they see it. So I've been in places before in some towns where, like, the street signs, like if it's Maple Street, you'll see somebody come up with like a piece of duct tape, and they'll literally just a piece of red duct tape, and they like slap it on the M so you can't see it because Michigan starts with M. Like that's how ridiculous the Ohio State fans get about it. They say, like, they don't refer to it as Michigan. It's that state up north, that team up north. So they take this a lot more seriously than Michigan does. To Michigan, it's a football game. To Ohio, it's some sort of existential conflict. Now, what do? Well, this guy actually did introduce the bill. He did introduce the bill here. And, you're just like, is this really what we want to see? It's very simple. It's a very straightforward bill. And it says this law is proposed that they want to introduce section 2927.18 of the revised code. So that's the laws here in Ohio. That's saying no person shall plant a flagpole with a flag attached to it in the center of the football field at Ohio Stadium of the Ohio State University on the day of a football competition, whether before, during, or after the competition. Whoever violates this is guilty of a felony of the fifth degree. Now, a fifth degree felony in Ohio is punishable by anywhere from 6 to 12 months in prison. There is a very big presumption for probation. But think about this. If you planted a flag, you're going to prison. You can risk more importantly, you're now a felon. The felony part's a problem here, but it's saying no person shall plant a flagpole with a flag attached to it. So that means if I'm an Ohio State person, if I'm an OSU football player and we win, I can't take a flag that's, got Ohio State on it and plant it there. That's a felony. This is worded in a way to say, obviously, no one's allowed to do the conduct. It's prohibited conduct from all parties. But remember, discriminating against one side or another, this is not being a non-Ohio party is a protected class. But anybody who does it, it's just nonsense. It's stupid. And also, this is something where it's too, like at the center of the football field at Ohio Stadium. So just that one place, there are other football fields in Ohio. If you do it between like Toledo and Bowling Green, that's a very big rivalry for those schools. That's not a felony. Somebody from Toledo could go to Bowling Green's 50-yard line and plant a flag. That's not going to provoke a response. Sure it would. There's many high schools across the state that have crosstown rivalries, county rivalries, regional rivalries with another school. And now you could go provoke and cause problems everywhere else, just not here. Does he really mean this? I don't know. But if he doesn't mean it, this is a fucking waste of time. If he does really mean this, Jesus Christ. We already have enough laws on the books, and penalizing a guy for trolling the shit out of another football team, that's not what this is meant for. That's not what your job is. And on top of that, you're making it a felony. You're making it a fucking felony. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And if you're really worried about provocation, disorderly conduct is already existing. If you cause somebody annoyance, alarm, or you encourage them and taunt them into a situation where they may fight, we already have that. But even then, what kind of conduct would you do to get that? Oh, we wanted we're rubbing in your face. Well, you suffer. You're gonna have to suffer with it. It's an example of like, what the fuck are we doing? Why do we have this? Why is this a thing? It shouldn't be a thing. This should be laughed at. This should be laughed out of government. This should not exist. I don't know why it does. I don't truly understand it. I don't truly understand it.